High definition news for Tuesday, July 19th, 2016. I'm Jeff Kaufman.
My parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life.
Donald Trump's wife Melania in the spotlight on the first night of the Republican convention in Cleveland, telling her own story. The delegates loved it, the first reviews were good, and then a sense of deja vu.
Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. You work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
If the goal of the Republican National Convention is to have everybody talking about Trump, mission accomplished on day one. Trouble is, the Trump everybody's talking about is not Donald, but his wife Melania. She was the featured speaker last night in Cleveland, and it was to be her coming out party. She mostly laid low during the primaries, while her husband and the Trump children did nearly all the campaigning. After Donald Trump introduced her on the podium, Melania Trump launched into the speech that an hour or so earlier she had told CNN she had written herself.
I wrote it and with a little help as possible.
The speech was well received on the convention floor and at first by cable news channel anchors and pundits. But then social media began to buzz with reports that entire sentences of Mrs. Trump's speech had been lifted verbatim from Michelle Obama's speech to the Democratic convention in Denver in 2008. All that was left was for some editors to start cutting and pasting and, well, listen for yourself.
You work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
You work hard for what you want in life. That your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect. We
Because
want our children
and all children in this nation
that the only
to know
limit
that
to
the
your
only limit
achievements
to the height of
is
your
the
achievements
strength
is the
of your
reach of your dreams and
your
your willingness to work hard for them.
Now, Donald Trump is reported to be furious over this controversy, but so far he has not said anything publicly. The defense of Melania Trump has been left to surrogates on cable channels and to Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Here's what he told CNN this morning.
There's no cribbing of Michelle Obama's speech. These were common words and values that she cares about her family, that things like that. I mean, she was speaking in front of 35 million people last night. She knew that. To think that she would be cribbing Michelle Obama's words is crazy. This is once again an example of when a woman threatens Hillary Clinton, how she seeks out to demean her and take her down. It's not going to work.
The question is, how much do Trump's supporters care about this? Throughout the campaign, the content of speech coming from the Trump campaign, whether from the candidate himself or his surrogates, has mattered less to Trump's supporters than the feeling that he speaks for them, that he knows what's wrong and is determined to fix it. Now that the primary is over and it's down to Trump versus Hillary Clinton, Trump is under more pressure to talk about policy details, and he has started to do that. Plagiarism does not help the Trump campaign get its message out. Now, that was not the only faux pas Melania Trump committed last night. Let's focus on another part of her speech. Does this sound familiar to you?
He will never, ever give up. And most importantly, he will never, ever let you down.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
He will never, ever give up. He will never, ever let you down.
Never gonna run around and desert you.
That's right. Last night, Melania Trump rickrolled the whole country.
Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
There were other speakers at the convention last night, including a couple of guys who flew to the convention from the 1980s. Actor Scott Baio and former underwear model Antonio Sabato Jr. spoke during prime time, but it's what Sabato said about President Obama during an interview on ABC's online convention coverage that has people wondering, what?
First of all, I don't believe that the guy is a Christian. I don't believe he follows the God that I love and the Jesus that I love. If you understand about Obama, I mean, that's not a Christian name, is it? I mean, the guy had an agenda to change dramatically this country from left to even further left. And he's made it not safe anymore. He's divided this country. People are walking around not respecting police officers. They're not respecting teachers. The Bible is completely out of the schools. Things are changing. And you can see his agenda really exploding right now in the last few months of his term, I believe that he's on the other side. I think.
What's the other side?
Oh, the Middle East. He's with the bad guys. He's with them. He's not with us. He's not with this country.
Do you believe that we could never have a Muslim president or never have a Jewish president?
We had one. We had a Muslim president for 7.5 years.
You believe that President Obama is a Muslim?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
On the convention schedule tonight, Donald Trump Jr. and his sister Tiffany Trump, also Ben Carson, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and House Speaker Paul Ryan, and Donald Trump himself. He'll speak to the convention via video hookup from Trump Tower as his name is officially placed in nomination. That's around 6 p.m. Pacific time tonight. High-definition news coverage of the Republican convention continues tomorrow morning. You can listen live at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Mornings on the Beach on kbeach.org. You can listen anytime at highdefinitionnews.com. That's hidefinitionnews.com, or on Facebook on the Mornings on the Beach page. Hillary Clinton is not waiting until the Democratic convention begins next Monday to begin her all-out assault on Donald Trump. In an interview yesterday in Cincinnati with Charlie Rose for PBS, Clinton called Trump's candidacy for president a danger to the world.
No self-discipline, no self-control, no sense of history, no understanding of the limits of the kind of power that any president should impose upon himself. He has shown none of that. Let's return to torture. And you know what? I will order the American military to commit war crimes. What he has laid out is the most dangerous, reckless approach to being president than I think we've ever seen.
The most dangerous man ever to run for president of the United States.
I believe that.
Here's some catch-up for your Tuesday lunch. This is some of what might have got past you in the past 24 hours. The beaches in Long Beach are closed to swimmers and will be off-limits until at least tomorrow. A ruptured pipe in Boyle Heights near downtown L.A. spilled 108,000 gallons of raw sewage into the L.A. River beginning around 2 p.m. yesterday. You know where the L.A. River flows into the ocean, at Long Beach. So the health department closed the beaches. They're still closed and will be until testing shows the sewage has dissipated. The first results won't be in until tomorrow. This stuff can make you very sick if you come in contact with it, so health officials not only warn you to stay out of the ocean, they say if you come across any pooled water near the beach or the harbor, you should not walk through it or step in it. The State Public Utilities Commission is considering fines against Southern California Edison over those electrical outages in the LBC last summer. Staying at an Airbnb is going to be a little pricier in the city of Los Angeles starting August 1st, 14% pricier to be exact. That's the amount of LA's nightly hotel room tax, and Airbnb has agreed to charge guests the tax. LA will use the money for programs to help the homeless. Covered California is out today with insurance rates for 2017. A lot of people are going to see increases in their premiums. That's not going to be a problem for Marvin and May Acosta. We don't know much about Marvin or May, don't know how old they are, don't know where they live. We do know they have a couple of kids. So how do we know they won't be sweating those insurance premiums? Because on Friday, Marvin and May Acosta popped into the California lottery office in Van Nuys, holding the last winning ticket from that $1.6 billion Powerball drawing in January, the one sold at a Chino Hills 7-Eleven. It was the biggest jackpot in history. The other two winners revealed themselves right after the drawing, but the Acostas waited 6 months. In that time, they got legal and financial assistance, and they moved out of their house. They don't want to be interviewed, and they say a lot of their winnings will go to charity. The Acostas opted for the one-time lump sum payment, so their share of the $1.6 billion is about $328 million before taxes. Finally, a stunning development today in a story we've been following, the allegations of sexual harassment and inappropriate sexual conduct by the powerful boss of the Fox News channel, Roger Ailes. This story broke on July 6th when former Fox and Friends co-host Gretchen Carlson filed a lawsuit claiming she'd been fired from Fox for refusing Ailes' sexual advances, which Ailes and Fox deny. They say ratings did her in. In the days that followed, other women came forward with stories of harassment and worse by Ailes, former Fox employees and others, some publicly and some anonymously. And other former Fox employees defended Ailes, all the while silence from Fox News' biggest female star, Meghan Kelly. An hour ago, the reporter who has broken most of the news on this story, New York Magazine's Gabriel Sherman, told CNN that Meghan Kelly is silent no more.
Well, what we know is that Meghan Kelly has come forth in this investigation that's being done by an outside law firm into the allegations that Gretchen Carlson raised in her lawsuit. And she has told the lawyers that she herself experienced sexual harassment by Roger Ailes as of 10 years ago, rising up through the Washington Bureau. And the other critical piece of information we now know is that as of yesterday, the Murdochs told Roger Ailes' representatives that he has until August 1st to resign quietly and amicably. Otherwise, he could be terminated for cause after that. So they've gone to him with this ultimatum, and this is where the state of play stands.
Now, when Gabriel Sherman of New York Magazine says the Murdochs, he does not mean just Rupert. He mostly means Rupert's sons, Lachlan and James, who have taken over the day-to-day running of 21st Century Fox, the conglomerate that owns Fox News, the Fox Network, all the Fox, FX, and Fox Sports cable channels, plus the 20th Century Fox movie studio. The boys have never much liked Roger Ailes. Eldest son Lachlan lost a power struggle to him about a decade ago, quit the company, and sulked home to Australia. But blood is thicker than Nielsen's, and Rupert eventually persuaded Lachlan to come back. And now he's leaving the decision on what to do with Ailes to his sons. If this report is true, and Roger Ailes really has one foot on a banana peel and the other on a Greyhound bus, that would be an earthquake in the journalism, entertainment, industrial complex, and in politics too. Ailes has been a kingmaker in media and Republican politics for more than 3 decades. His sudden departure would create a tremendous vacuum, and no oxygen masks will drop from the ceiling to save anybody. As the lady says,
fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Now you know what we know. I'm Jeff Kaufman, High Definition News.